Hello out there, RGL. I believe we have a Vixie here, do we not?
Yo, what is up, L Rock?
What is up with you?
I'm
Us.
so tired. Hi,
Yeah, well,
everybody.
this game's about to be put to bed, so that's how this is gonna go. All right, everybody. By request of Vixie, I am RRock617 joining her for commentary today. I am very privileged to be here with you all, and very privileged to be doing this for her because this game is amazing, and I'm very glad she's getting to play it for you all today. Song was also by request, and I hope you all enjoyed it.
And can I just say thank you for the staff for being so accommodating and moving my run. I'm sorry I messed you guys about, but yeah, I got a new keyboard and it doesn't sound as loud. So
Heck yeah.
heck yeah. I hope you guys are ready for some zombies after that brilliant Disney block.
For sure. One thing I did request before we got started, wanted to pay a quick tribute to the unfortunately untimely passing of Paul Haddad this previous week. Paul Haddad, for those who don't know, was the original voice actor for Leon in this game and passed away this past week from throat cancer. So, really sad to see him go. He was, I don't know how many people are watching that have played this game as well, but he was very much an iconic voice for like my video game generation in my teenage years. So real sad, real sad. And this game is very near and dear to me, and I love this category. I've run it myself in the past, and Vixie is way better at it than I am, and she's just going to kill it for you all today. So I'm going to leave it to you. Go ahead and do what you need to do.
All right then, guys. Yeah. Here is Resident Evil 2. I
Real
hope I
sad. And
don't
this game
die
is very
because I
near
do
and dear
not
to me, and
take
I
any
love this
safety
category. I've
shots.
run it myself in the past.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fire it up. Oh, I would help if I pressed the wrong thing.
One thing,
just
Vic,
ignore me.
since we're talking, make sure to mute me in Discord because we got some echo there.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Sorry.
go ahead and just mute
All right.
Discord and we'll get it
Yeah, that
set.
was just a demo, guys. That was just a demo. Let me just mute you in
Don't worry about it.
Discord. Wait, how can... Huh? How can I mute you in Discord? Then I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You just right click on my name and then go to mute.
Okay.
Good work. And you got yourself muted in your OBS too, so.
Yeah. No, what I'm saying is if I mute you, I can't hear you talking.
Oh, right. Yeah, some things were...
Oh my gosh. You could have paired me up with someone better.
Nah. There's a lot going on here with the restream plus the commentary. It's a tough gig. Give us one moment, everybody. I think if you can mute Discord audio in OBS, you should be able to get that fixed. So let's do that.
Gosh.
Yeah,
can I trade a commentator into a better one?
Yeah, let me.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
No. It's fine. We'll get this sorted. Just waiting for some information, people. Bear with us. Okay. Okay. All right, everyone. We're gonna have a quick change. We're gonna do a quick switch over of Restream, and we'll get this going with me on commentary. Really sorry about this. There was something that was missed by yours truly, and we're gonna get this sorted, and Vixie's gonna get this run. So thank you so much, everybody. We'll be right back.
Dear. 5.
It's now we're live. Thanks so much for everybody's patience.
So, if you don't know me, my name is Vixie. I will be running RE2 today. Leon A without any tech problems. That was just
None
a
whatsoever.
demo. That was just a demo. It's absolutely fine.
Everything's fine. Put ice on it because it's fine.
All right, so we're gonna go. Let's get this party started. Yeah, 3, 2, 1. Let's try this again. Right.
Alright, so everybody, this is Resident Evil 2. I'm sure a lot of you are very familiar with this game. This game is one of my favorite games of all time, for sure. And Vixie today is running the 2006 re-release that was on the PC. That is one of the more optimized runs in terms of Resident Evil speedrunning. This game is this run is specifically special because you get to do what's called door skips. Whenever you open a door in this game, you get to actually skip the cutscene of it and just warp right to the next area. You have to wait about, forget how long, it's like 1.2 seconds I believe it is, before you can do an optimal skip, because if you skip too early, then it has to do another load, and actually is faster to let that load rather than having it go long. So you're going to be seeing a lot of that. You're not going to be seeing a whole lot of doors opening. You'll see the door, you'll see it creak a little bit, and then it's just going to warp right through it.
We play the Japanese version because the text rolls faster and it's generally easier.
Yes.
Less enemies in the game.
The other big thing in this game is movement, and movement in this game, especially with a character like Leon, is pretty precise. Characters like Claire and Ada are a bit better for movement because they can turn a bit better on a dime, whereas Leon has the shoulders of a linebacker, so he tends to get grabbed quite a bit more if your movement isn't a bit more on the spot. So you're gonna be seeing a lot of tight corners, a lot of tricky dodges through some zombie hordes. And the first goal we have here is just to make sure we can get to the police station, hopefully as unscathed as we can possibly be.
Whoa, the fabled 2-1. This run is blessed.
Oh snap.
I'm joking. that's the best pattern you want for pre-RPD.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good setup actually. We took one bite, but I'm not too bothered about that.
You know, the low shots you see Vixie doing are what's called quick shots. With a precisely timed low shot, you can actually cancel one shot to another, and that helps for staggering zombies, especially if they're standing. You sometimes have to do it on the second zombie that's on the bus, but generally you can get it on the first shot, I believe. I think it happens more often than not that you get it on the first shot. One thing to note about this version, as opposed to other versions that were released around this time, like the GameCube and Dreamcast version, you cannot skip cutscenes, so all the cutscenes will have to be watched, but honestly, that's for your all's entertainment, because these cutscenes are just spectacular in terms of storytelling, in terms of the cheesy voice acting that still somehow remains good, and Marvin's just a great character too, so sit back and...
This is who we call Will Smith.
Outskirts of this city.
This is before he went to fight all the aliens, or is it after? I'm not sure.
Stars members discovered that Umbrella was behind.
In that one movie that he made.
They risked their lives to reveal the truth.
I Am Legend.
But no one believed them. Not long after that.
Oh dear.
So Marvin's awesome.
Hang in there. Don't worry.
Yeah, Marvin's great, and we
just rescue the survivors in the other rooms.
May or may not be seeing more of him a bit later, but he's essential to visit now because he gives us our first key card that we need to get through the mansion. The mansion. What game is this again? The police station.
Just go.
There we go. I know where this game is located. I've played it before.
But I'm coming back for you.
So a big portion of RE2 is taking place in the RPD. There are a lot of places where I can end the run. So you know, it's pretty fun.
Cross my fingers for that one. No bad corner. Okay, good. She had a practice run where she got stuck on the corner of the desk and we couldn't figure it out. Like, what is There's nothing there. Why is she stuck?
It's Leon's janky hitbox. It's thick thighs. So this scene actually terrified me when I played this growing up. We don't see it, we skip it.
Yeah, it's a cool FMV for sure, and the liquors are just, you know, huge part of Resident Evil lore now, and this was the first time we actually got to see one. They are the grossness.
So stairs and ladders work the same as door skips as well. You can skip those, save a bit of time.
It's just another transitional scene, really. Quick thing we're gonna do with this puzzle here. Vixie's gonna push this statue all the way around the middle statue to push into the wall, and that's actually only 50% of what she has to do to complete it. But we're not gonna complete the other 50% until we come back. And on our way to the
These
STARS
statue
office.
pushes are the bane of my life.
They can be pretty obnoxious. The collision detection is one of those things where it's like, it's easy and yet somehow also easier to mess up, which doesn't make any sense.
So the hallway you just saw me running up.
Good to see you're still among
We're gonna
the
be
living.
running through that hallway 2 more times
It looks like
because
we're
it's an
not-
RE game and we like our backtracking.
Mm-hmm.
Not as much
So-
as Code Veronica, but you know.
It's a 3D Metroid after all. Oh god, Code Veronica's backtracking. Lord, don't get me started.
There's no reason
You have to go to
us
the Ashford Mansion 4 times. Oh my goodness, it's crazy.
Get at it.
It's so crazy. And here's where we run into Claire again. Give her the diary that belongs to Chris, and then get the heck
Take
out.
it. That way we can keep in touch if anything happens.
Shame we don't listen to that music more because it's like one of the best in the game.
Yeah, the STARS office theme is quite good for sure. I agree. Round and
1,
round.
2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Counting with Vix.
Wanting to kill everything is normal for Resident Evil games, so it's I look at that as like a Resident Evil passion project. Just kill every enemy. You're not gonna go fast, but hey, everything gets to be slain. So we retrieve the jewel there, but we're not gonna get it yet because, as Vixie mentioned, we are gonna be rerouting our way back through that hallway, and we'll retrieve it then. So right now, we need the inventory space, which is the an aforementioned third thing that was big for this run. Nice buffer. The resource management in this game is huge. That's up to and including how many spots you have available in your inventory to give it time to make sure you're going to be able to account for everything, and being able to execute your way around the menu, which it's actually kind of interesting to be able to do fast menuing in this game because it almost works out like fighting game inputs. Like if you do like a Street Fighter style fireball motion, you get to move 3 spots away in a really quick succession. Kind of neat. Snag our first key. The theme for the keys in the mansion is going to be suits of cards, so we get the spade key
come
first.
on.
Right away to the rest. Oh, did you get clipped in the ankle? That's not good.
Yeah.
That's gross. So liquors, when they swipe your ankle, don't do a whole lot of damage, but it does slow things down a bit, so it's annoying. That one in particular. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, no, that liquor is annoying. You want to keep your health in fine because when you go down to caution, you run 10% slower, so you are losing time on every single door. But time to go get our red gem.
This is why Leon's an overpowered character. He starts the game with a key item, and which is ironic because Claire starts the game with a lockpick, and somehow that's not a key item, even though it's a key to everything. But no, Leon gets the lighter, which allows him to be able to obtain 2 items in the police station that are very important to us. One being this red gem. Gonna snag that. And once we make our way back upstairs, back to that police hallway, things are gonna start getting really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I also didn't mention before that I love some of the strats that that Vixie employs in the hallway with the zombies. When you come back, I saw her do it earlier when she does the gun aim as a buffer strat to get the zombie to move in the way she wants to. Like I love stuff like that. I'm a huge fan of stuff like that.
Good thing about this run is that we don't actually shoot many zombies. In fact, I think, I don't know, we shoot like 2 naked zombies at the end, and I'm pretty sure that's it. Like the rest of them that we have to shoot are bosses, so...
Yeah, it's pretty close to a pacifist run. Not exactly, but you could probably make it a pacifist run and cost yourself a good, 30 to 40 seconds or so. By just eating damage from those zombies at the end.
My lines are pretty bad, but I think that's because I'm
Pretty simple
tired.
puzzle here. Move the two on the far left, or sounds like far, to the right, and we have our first plug. The plugs are also game themed, similar to the keys. These, however, are chest themed. Be seeing more of those that'll be our ticket out of the police station. Quick thing to note about the balcony, in the US version of this game, no matter what console you run it on, PlayStation, GameCube, whichever, there is an extra zombie on this balcony who is always in your way, and you basically have to kill him or tank through him, or else you're going to lose time. And it's really mean, whereas in the JP version, he doesn't exist at all, and that's amazing. Onto one of my favorite scares in this game, the crows. Love the crows. Crows are great.
Alright, so easy swing around Misty, the zombie there. I'm gonna go pick up the steering wheel.
The steering wheel. It's a valve handle, but it's actually a steering wheel. The game tells you it's a valve handle, but I can't read Japanese, and therefore it's actually a steering wheel. Totally a steering wheel.
Ooh! Okay. Misty, getting a bit feisty there.
Oof.
This is not good.
You hate to hear that. Ooh, yeah, she was
It's
hungry.
fine. There's a herb we can pick up in a bit, so it's not too... There's like plenty of safety items we can pick up. But I said I wasn't going to use safety items, but I would like to finish the run now I've started it, so...
Finish run you started?
Yeah.
What is this diabolical scheme you've concocted? I don't understand what's happening.
The best,
Maybe none of us
the best
know.
animation in this game is when them crows break through the window and one of them hits Leon in the head, and he just goes, "Ugh."
He screams it too, just grunts. It's the same thing when one of the Ivies like melee attacks him. It's amazing. Alright, so worked way past a couple of zombies there in the hallway. On the way to getting a couple more key items, we got our second suit key, which is going to be the diamond key. Drop off the gems to get our second plug.
And we're gonna make our way through that hallway for the third and final time.
Nice turnaround there.
Thank you.
It's a little bit late. Alright, time to go back downstairs, get in business. This is the final time we'll be heading to the West Wing to get what we need. It also, this segment, for my money, also features one of the tougher dodges in the game without practice. The file room is, I think that's what it's called. I'm sure it's got a different
Evidence
name.
room.
Evidence room, yeah. That room is, that room's a heartbreaker sometimes.
Alright, I'm gonna pick up this just to, because of the evidence room.
Feels.
His footsteps sound so good in this game.
Yeah, they do.
But that we picked up. Nice. Right.
Very, very good.
Just need Marvin to behave now.
So Marvin has 3 different patterns you can give here: fast, slow, and medium. Anything but medium is good. Medium is really bad.
Oh, again, lag.
Oof, yeah, I had to catch back up. See, Marvin went slow there. That was good. So the idea with Marvin's paces is that when he goes fast, you can grab the key right away and then circle your way around him and exit the door that way. If he goes slow, you can do what Vixie did and get the key, immediately turn around and go back, and he's not going to be able to catch you. But at medium pace, if you try to go for either of those, he's basically just going to grab you no matter what. And I don't believe there's a workaround strat for that. I think it's just one of those things you just kind of have to soak up. Real unfortunate when it occurs. Yeah, F's in the chat for Marvin for sure. Alright, on to meet our secondary character for the run.
When I saw the uniform, I thought you were another.
And also, this is one of my favorite segments of the game just because the number of memes you're all going to see here is just spectacular.
Ada Wong.
So when we zoom in on the van, be sure to have a really, really good look at the van.
He's one of those reporter types.
Because everybody has to remember they need to dial 911 for an emergency. Why?
Only there's a wrecked car barring the entrance.
Oh yeah, this is Ada. Everybody knows Ada, aka the woman in the red dress. Don't forget, dial 911.
If we work together, we can move this thing. Give me.
God, I did not know about that until today, and that's just so glorious.
And the fact that emergency is spelled wrong as well.
Yeah, CEY. So much of that in this game. Speaking of memes, we're on our way to meet Ben. And Ben is definitely a character.
Yeah.
But on the way, we've got this nice little quote from Leon.
Which you're gonna hear a lot.
Ada, wait!
Oh
Which you're
yeah.
gonna hear a lot.
Hey.
Ada, wait.
There it is. So a game, since we're gonna have a fairly long cutscene here, something I love to do during this time is to just think of all the ways that Ada can make us wait. For example, if Ada is going to be our server at a restaurant, she might serve our food on an Ada plate.
Is this the guy?
What about if
Ben,
you were trying to catch up with
You
her,
told
but
the
she
city
was
officials
Ada
that you knew
Skate?
something about what's
Ooh,
going on.
those wheels though.
What did you tell them?
Oh
And
goodness.
Who the heck are you?
I'm trying
She might be
Uh,
Ada
my
late
boyfriend.
to the Ada date.
He was
Can
working
she
for
be
a
late if she has a skate?
restaurant based in Chicago, but he suddenly disappeared.
But
6
it's fine
months ago.
because she's your Ada mate.
I heard a rumor that he's here in the city.
If the number her 51, she could be an
I
Ada
don't know
state.
anything. And even if I did, why would I want to tell you?
She might even be about to meet her Ada
Okay, I
fate.
say we leave him in there. Does anyone know where they put the
Open the
key?
door, we gotta get to the Ada gate.
I have it right here.
Leon could
officer.
use her as Ada bait.
But I want them to leave the cell.
Take her fishing.
Those zombies aren't the only things crawling around out there.
He really just wants to take her on an Ada date.
What was that? Like I said,
Oh yeah, shoutouts to Duck.
leaving this city.
Forgot about that.
Get out of here before you lead it right to me. Hey, I'm not going.
By the end of this, you might be under Ada hate.
Alive in this building. What? Look, if you want to live, then you're gonna have to leave.
Yes, wait, yes.
Do you even know how to get out of the city? There's a kennel in the back of the building.
Oh,
I don't actually think Ben's a prisoner. I think he just commandeered a key and just locked himself up
Won't be easy.
because he's trying to hide.
All
Like,
right, I'm
do you want zombies coming after you? I don't blame him for what he's doing. He's like maybe the most empathetic character in this game.
It's fine because Ada's great.
Yeah. Ada's definitely great. After she cleans her Ada plate, you could say that Ada ate.
Please stop.
I love it. I love
I
it.
just started Ada Infuriate.
Ada Infuriate. Go to the bank and get that 808.
She could be in an Ada crate. Oh my gosh.
Ada evaluate while paused. Yeah. Okay, on to the spoofs. So yeah, 808s. I love it. So spiders are 50-50. The first spider is completely free. You just run around them on the outside, and then the second one can be kind of a jerk because that guy's grounded first of all, and I know Vixie's already through that, but we're gonna be seeing him again, and that'll matter the next time too. For the second time, she will be still trying to dodge the spider, but the spider can be the guy to just be like, "Oh hey, cool, I'm just gonna spit up at you, and it's gonna suck for you, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's just something that happens."
Boost. I'll go and check.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, if that spider spits at you, it's automatically 12 seconds gone because of what you have to do to stop being poisoned. Yeah. Okay,
yeah,
you guys. We've started something now.
Oh yeah, it's
Ada giant.
It begins. It begins.
Whoa. Alright, so this is the first section we can control as Ada. It's the water puzzle. It's not very hard. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can push at 6.5, but 7 is definitely the best because if you mess it up, then you have to wait for the water to go back down, and obviously that's a time loss.
This also hasn't been addressed yet, but Ada's overpowered. Like, Ada's movement in this game is just so god tier. Like, not only can she cut around a dime like Claire, but when she, like, drops off ledges, she just gets to start moving immediately. She doesn't have to, like, recollect herself. She's just like, "No, I'm just going. Fitness time. We're in there. On to the gym." Hold up your net and 808. Yeah, I'm with that. Could just be one of her Ada traits.
Oh my goodness. Can I get a refund on the commentary, please?
So, you asked for this. And second of all, nobody's getting paid. Which means I'm out. Bye, everybody. No, I'm kidding.
Leon,
Alright, so we got the Kia Clubs, which is going to allow us access into the east side of the building.
What were we talking about again? I was trying to think of what else rhymes with wait. Okay, so yeah, the club is actually very important. It's going to get us the last of our key items. It also leads us to one of the most dreaded parts of the police station in the red hallway. Ugh, stupid red hallway. Also, the sound design, Vixie's not wrong, the sound design in this game is amazing. Like, Ada throws the key, and the sound it makes is just too good. It is too good. I also like one of Ada's lines when you get the other item. Like, if you're playing this game casually, there's I think a packet of shotgun shells that she can also obtain, and when she throws it, she yells out something like, "Think fast, here's one more," and just tosses it. And what's funny to me about it is Leon is like looking down at the key after Ada throws it, and the shotgun shells in a crate whiz by his head. Excuse me. Oh, I had dinner before this. Whiz by his head, and everything's fine. It's just like nothing hit him. He wasn't paying attention, and he could have been clobbered in the head by a packet of ammo. You know, no big deal. But Leon's just like, "Nah, we're good. We good."
Leon getting stuck on them sides.
He's a linebacker. Leon the linebacker. Dodge around that liquor there. So now we have the Magnum.
I'm gonna try.
Magnum is really good. The Magnum is a very, very good weapon. It's essentially going to be the only weapon we use the rest of the run. And coming up on the horde. Remain quiet here.
I'll take it. Oh, that's fine. I'll take it. This is not ideal, but it's fine. I'll take it. Doesn't look.
That's unfortunate. There's for that segment, there's a number of different strats you can do through there. Most of which are pretty well known. And the ones that you see in high-level runs like this one are generally really hard to do, and if they get missed, things can happen. But even in caution, we should still be fine. Snag that. First aid spray for safety. I like it. I like it. This is the one saving grace of the red hallway. Red hallway is going to be very interesting coming back. To put things in perspective, this room that she's in right now, where she's going to be obtaining the cogwheel that we'll take to the attic. When you play as Claire in this segment, there's a licker chasing you around the room. So to point out which one is harder of the two runs, should be pretty obvious by now. Plus Claire has to like get the lighter and bring that, and Leon already has the lighter, and yeah. So Leon has an easy mode for sure. Now that we have all of our assembled pieces, we're gonna make our way back to the library to obtain our final plug. I also want to point out that cogwheel is like the bane of my existence. For some reason, some days I just cannot pick that thing up. Collision detection on it is just messy. Nice return on the hallway, by the way. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah. Whew.
At the top of this ladder, we're going to see the licker. You just want to hold up and left, and you'll always miss him.
Yeah. Don't hold too hard until he might swipe you. Should be good. Just gotta take off running. Can't give it any downtime. Get a cool little cutscene in the library too, where the zombies burst in through the window, which does not affect the A scenario gameplay, but for B scenario that follows it, it does. Because what'll happen is in Claire's B scenario, where she'll go back to that room, she will have to deal with zombies. So it's kind of a cool little, I forget what it's called, where like one gameplay affects another. There's a term for it, but I'm scatterbrained on it at the moment. But it was, I think, the first game I've ever played that had that kind of mechanic to it, and I thought that was really neat. Conversely, you can also save items for Claire, things like the side pack and the submachine gun, neither of which we see in this speed run. So. Alright, to the attic, and Leon actually gets a really nice shortcut here that Claire doesn't get, but Claire technically doesn't need it because she has a different route entirely. Once we get the clock going, we'll then get to retrieve our final plug and then jump down the dust chute all the way back down to the prison. F's in chat for the ponytail. What he gets for not rolling deep, you know? He's decided to hide in the cell and protect himself from zombies, and all of a sudden it's like, well, just had to gag on his lunch real quick.
I'm surprised at how many people from my stream are in this chat, so hello everybody, thank you for watching so late.
Hear me? Come on, answer.
It's really nice
I'm
to
not.
see you all.
You advertised the heck out of this.
I don't believe this.
I would be amazed if more people weren't
I
here.
almost got the story. Ben. Bitter.
So we get one more big cutscene before we have to move on to our boss at the police station, whose name I still always forget, and I heard it not even 2 hours ago. I always just refer to it as Baby. It's the G embryo, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I always just heard it referred to as Baby in my youth, so that's all I've ever called it, because it's easy. Oh, someone give you bunny ears. Isn't that adorable?
What's wrong?
Easter time. So Ben's big story is he uncovers that the chief of police was behind the whole outbreak, which, when you play Claire's scene, makes all the more sense, because Chief Irons is not only a corrupt scumbag, he's also a terrible human being, so.
Where are you
Yeah,
going,
no.
Ada?
Oh yeah, F's for
Mechanical
duck.
plant.
He
I
done.
have a feeling that's where I'll find John.
Everyone's gonna die.
Ada, wait. Hey.
That's still the first soundbite I ever remember about this game because it was in the
Do you
commercial.
read me, Claire? We now have access.
And I heard it in the
to
game, and I was just
back
like, he said the thing!
I'm getting out of here and heading to the
Claire
sewer.
sounds so done.
Can you meet me there?
I'm on my way.
That was nearly pitch and perfect. That was just nearly pitch perfect. That was great.
I'll have to watch this back then so I don't have to practice and I'll just know exactly how it sounds. I'm on my way.
I'm on my way.
This is what sounds like when Jubilee does not give a crap.
And with that, we are out of the RPD.
Correct. Trivial fact, Allison Cord, who voiced Claire in this game, voiced Jubilee in the X-Men animated series. One of my favorite factoids about this game. Imagine Claire sounding a lot more high-pitched and whiny, and you get Jubilee.
Hi, Twitchy. Okay, let's hope he doesn't do what he did last time.
Yeah, that would be bad. The final practice run we had involved a swarm of little bugs who got close enough to allow him to do a claw swipe, and it was gross. It's a fairly easy boss fight once you get the rhythm going, though. 7 magnum shots and the embryo's down. Although I believe you may be able to get in more damage at a closer range.
Yep, if you stand a bit closer, you can kill him in 6.
What was that all about?
Yeah, seven's the easy fight, but still an easy fight. Still in fine. Open in the vault. Now we get reunited with Ada, and Leon gets his classic lecture here.
Look, Ada.
The look on Ada's face while he's talking is one of my favorite things in this game. It's so good. Like, she could not care less about anything he's saying.
Shape. Must be lifting the Ada away.
I just like to point out that she signed up for this. I like how Ada signed up for all this nonsense she's getting from Leon. That was reckless and stupid.
Leon, that woman was... I have to talk to her.
I love that cutscene.
It's so good. It's like just a great payoff for getting out of the police station. To be immediately followed by this one here, where Leon makes his sacrifice. And Ada, ever the amazing human being that she is, just have to talk to her. God. Oh, this game is perfect.
Alright, so settle down for the longest cutscene in the game.
One quick bit of speed tech to discuss there. Before you take off with Ada, you're supposed to unequip the gun, because this cutscene actually changes if the gun is equipped, because what'll happen is Annette shoots the gun out of her hand as opposed to just shooting at her. And what that causes is it only saves a little bit amount of time at the very beginning of the cutscene, but as it drags on and Ada has to retrieve her gun at the end of the cutscene, spoilers, that takes more time to be able to retrieve.
My husband is the man
First Ada spray, I'm with that.
Creation of the T-virus. William Birkin. What?
Definitely get behind that.
John's dead. He became one of those
The
zombies.
T nonsense.
And although I regret this, you will be joining him shortly. I won't let anyone take the G-virus.
Cutscene's definitely something. G-Unit.
Its potential is even greater.
So, you get through all this. It features one of the few FMVs that can be, or one of the only cutscenes that can be skipped because it's an FMV. Those can always be skipped. For anyone that's never played this game casually that wants to, do not skip this cutscene. It is amazing. It is super duper good.
Yeah, also, if anyone wants to start running the game, definitely recommend this category. It's the easiest one to learn. The route is easy. We've got tutorials up on speedrun.com, which is still valid, that Rufus did. The RET community is really good. I'm one of the moderators on speedrun.com as well, so if you do need any help, any hints, tips, feel free to hit me up whenever. I'll always answer. Too bad.
It is a good speed run. It's also a also yeah, it's just a really good speed run. It's very execution intensive with not a lot of RNG, but the movement always feels very rewarding to be able to pull off. I'm a big fan of what I've been able to do with it, even though my time sucks. I have like a 54. Dixie, by comparison, her time is like 4 minutes faster. So
My PB is
much better at this game.
50:01, and my aim is sub 50, and then I'm gonna move on to other games. I've decided.
And this is, even with older strats, this is still like one of the, as far as like older RE2 speedruns, this one has a lot of older strats that I think in a lot of ways are still valid, because Carsey's been putting the work in this game for ages. A lot of his stuff still works out. Like, I think it was him that did the tutorial for quick shots, and those are still a really big deal. And so now we have control of Leon again. We have to go obtain our medals. We have the Wolf Medal, we have the Eagle Medal, and we're going to use those to unlock a gate that is creating this waterfall that we can't navigate our way through.
But first, we have a lovely enemy.
Oh, spooters.
Nope.
Ah, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So we have a part where if I get the timing wrong, the run will end. There's no two ways about it, so...
The croc fight is one of the coolest things in the game from a flavor perspective, for sure. And the killing blow is just a thing of beauty to watch, even in like 20-year-old polygons.
If you want to see something amazing, you should see a knife-only winner against the croc. That is something.
Oh, the movement in those fights is insane. It's so good, like a Olympic level sprinting. It's crazy. But yeah, for the quick fight, what's going to happen is there's a small window where you can release the gas canister and allow the croc to do what's called a quick pickup of it, where it doesn't delay to pick it up. It doesn't stop to look at it, it just scoops it.
I got the slow one, but it doesn't matter.
Saves about 1 to 2 seconds if you can get it, but it's not. While it is optimal, the problem with it is it's very, very dangerous to do, because if you miss it and you're too late with it, then the croc just skips the gas can, and then you just die, because you can't actually survive the croc fight if you actually have to tangle with him.
And this game isn't like RE4,
Glorious.
5, 6. It doesn't have checkpoints, so if you die, you start over. So.
There's save points, but we have no time for that in a speed run, that's for sure. Now we've rescued Ada from the giant gator. And it's load this bullet wound, and it really hurts.
I just found out. John's dead.
What?
I love that line.
Never mind.
I just found out my
Let's
boyfriend's
just
dead.
get out of here.
Never mind.
The sooner the better.
Just found out John's dead. What?
Never mind.
He shows more concern than she does.
Alright, just picking up the first of the 2 medals. This placing this valve handle is just awkward. The trigger for this is annoying sometimes.
Leon gets his decorative badge for the rest of the game. I always thought it was cool that both Leon and Claire definitely had like their battle scars, I guess. I mean, Claire doesn't really get injured, so to speak, but she does lose her jacket that she gives to Ada, to Sherry. She gets a slightly altered look, whereas Leon, takes a bullet. Slightly different.
So Ada, where I just picked up the wolf medal, Ada can block you in, and she sometimes stays there and she cannot move.
Ada can definitely be Minnie Mouse about that sometimes, as in Mickey Mouse-capade Minnie Mouse. Like, what are you doing? Please don't do that. Yeah, we get a quick zombie resurrection there as well, which is, I think, a cool sequence as far as like horror tropes go, but there's no interaction with them, so it really matters. Also, am I the only one that's ever poisoned here?
Yeah.
Like, I've definitely had her get spit on by spiders, and it's the weirdest thing.
No.
It doesn't affect the game at all, but it's so bizarre.
We like Ada getting poisoned. It's what we aim for.
Really?
Yeah, it just looks funny.
Give her the business, yeah. I feel that.
Yeah, we're out of the sewers now, so we're going on to our final part of the game.
Here we're going to be making our way to the lab. We do have one last big sequence to work out. Through this here. See, she's so good at this game, she can do it in her sleep. It's no big deal. So this is a segment that Claire actually doesn't have to deal with, where William is going to try to sabotage the train ride. Basically just via pawns. And it's a fairly easy, quick mini-boss. Just sway back and forth between the two holes and open fire.
So,
but of course, because it's Ada gets the finishing blow, so...
Yeah, she gets the quick shots. I'm going to 1v1 her on Rust. No, so coming up is the I can't think what it's called, the corridor where we take the only force bite in the game, just because shaking him off is faster than shooting him. So essentially that's where you want to get bit the first and only time. But it's going to be one of these hallways. That zombie there is RNG. You can sometimes run around him, but this time I didn't, obviously. Pick up the fast because we've got a boss fight coming up. Better get your air horns ready as well. That's all I'm gonna say.
Good stuff there. On our way to the boss of the sewer, I guess, which is G... I think it's 2 at this phase, because G1 you fight in B scenario. G2 is there's a pretty specific structure to the boss fight in terms of execution. There's not a whole... I don't think there's anything about it at all that's random. If the execution is not performed correctly, then there is a good chance that some damage will be dished out, but won't stop anything too much in the long run. Terminal, get on the bus, go down the bus. Buses go down. It always looks like a bus to me. I know it's just a tram, but it's because of the yellow color. It just always looks like a bus to me.
What kind of buses do you go on?
School buses in the States are yellow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're mostly red in your part of the world, right?
Like
I think.
Like the magic school bus.
There we go. There we go. This can be the magic school bus. Ada bites it there in very impressive fashion. And for G2, first he chucks the pipe at you, which does nothing. It's unfortunate. I believe it's at close range. I think it's... I can't remember if it's 8 or 9 magnum shots to put him down, but you can definitely do the fight without taking a hit. Not a huge deal if you do. He's just kind of a troll sometimes. It's like a shark. The closer he gets, the more dangerous he becomes because he smells blood and all that jazz. So
my problem was I dropped a shot there. If you drop your quick shots, then you've got a couple of seconds where you try and raise your hand, magnum again. You can do that fight without quick shotting. So if you run back 4 paces, you can shoot him 3 times, turn, get another 3 shots in. He'll swipe, so you stand back, and then you pop him off twice more. He'll do the stagger animation. You quickly reload and pop him in the kneecaps, and that's how the fight should be done.
I always like the visual cue for the end of the fight too. The next to last hit, he just basically hulks up and he's just like, "Let's go!" We shoot him one time and he's like, "Okay, my bad. I'll go to sleep now."
Welcome back.
Like he puts so much effort into it. He's just like, "Oh, that's it. I'm so angry," and then he's down.
I'll go find something.
Pro tip: while he's doing that, do not shoot him. He's invincible to any and all damage.
I'll only slow you down with these injuries. Go, save yourself.
I told you, it's my job to look after you.
Bearing in mind at this point, they've only known each other for about half an hour to an hour.
I know I've only known you.
In speedrun time, yeah.
But I really enjoy it.
So, in case you guys don't know the lore, this is happening in between RE3.
I'm not capable of
So,
caring about anyone.
this happens while Jill is in her coma from Nemesis.
We're leaving this place together.
Yeah, the exact timeline is Resident Evil 3 starts on September 28th. I think the prologue was daylight, which the game starts and it's nighttime, so like I'm confused too. So that starts the 28th. By the 29th, they're already on their way out of the city. But yeah, Jill has her bout with Nemesis and gets infected. And while this is going on, then we have Resident Evil 2 on September 29th, and then we resume on September 30th into October 1st, and that's when Resident Evil 3 concludes. And Raccoon City bites the big one, and we had the end of our saga until 3 months later. But that's for another time. For the opening here of the lab, we're just going to have a couple of quick key item segments. Onto the freezer case first, we're going to be able to obtain the fuse. I believe Vix has also obtained the... No, it's shortened in Resident Evil lore as fast, but it's first aid spray. Very good thing to have here. We have some killer enemy segments that are going to be giving us the business here before too long.
Definitely the hardest part of the game by far.
Yeah, I can only imagine how many runs have gone to die here from like trying to go for like sub 49 attempts and stuff. By this point, enemies that we've encountered already are making their return, but they're significantly harder because they have more health. Don't do more damage, but if you're actually trying to combat them, they would have more health in a casual run. So like Lickers, instead of taking 2 shotgun blasts, would take 3, for example. Zombies also have more health. Lickers also appear in larger groups. We also have a new enemy we're going to be seeing called the Ivy that we won't be interacting with too much. Like this to me, once I learned it, became one of the easier dodges in the game. Just hug the left wall and you get to scoop right on past them and they're not even an issue. For some reason the one on the left doesn't really have any collision detection that close to the wall. He's like a bit closer to the center. Pretty cool little piece of work. Alright, for this liquor hallway, gonna go ahead and remain quiet. Hope Vixie will get the best. One hit hallway, that's very, very good. Good stuff. And that hallway's a nightmare because as soon as it starts, you have 2 lickers in the adjacent hallway who are ready to pounce you, and then you have another one pop out of the ceiling who almost always gets the hit. So you just have to pedal to the metal, and I think it's extremely common to get clipped by the one who's on the corner of the hallway before moving on past the others. So taking only 1 hit there is actually very, very good. Into our lab. Gonna get this key card. The key card is gonna take us to our modus operandi disc, also known as the Mo disc. This is what we need to actually get out of here.
This is fine. I've got the fast. So this is why you pick up the fast, because that hole on the way back is very dangerous.
Yeah, it's almost it's arguably even worse on the way back than it is on the way there. It's a beating for sure. Oof. Got the swarm.
Please send good energy chat for this final dodge. It's one of the hardest ones in the game.
Ooh.
Oh, shit. I did not mean to pick that up. Okay.
Things happen.
I'm sorry for swearing.
It's video games. Oh, I wouldn't worry too much about that. It happens.
Oh,
everybody gets. If it were up to me, everybody would get 1.
This is very bad.
It is. I don't like to hear that.
Okay. You murdered my husband. I know what you're looking for. You came for the G virus, didn't you?
Yeah, it's never good. Getting grabbed by the one who's directly in the corner is
what happened there was because I picked up the fast and I wasted the time, so the zombies had a chance to move. So if I'd have run out the door and came back in, that would have reset where they were. But this is very bad. I'm on 110 health, so one more bite can knock me down to caution, especially from the naked zombies. They're a lot stronger.
There are a couple of green herbs that she can encounter on the way if she chooses to take the safety. She can. There's one in the room right after the 2 ivies on the balcony. And then there's one in the bottom after the hallway where you encounter the liquors, which is now being flooded by zombies
Ada
instead.
wouldn't do something like that.
That would be good, but I
You
can't pick
don't
them up
want
because I have a
to
full
leave it, I don't.
inventory. So
Oof.
You're about to die
Yeah,
anyway.
this is gonna be interesting. Whew.
Hugs, big C in the corner.
Alright then. Sounds like we got to think about some things.
The self-destruct sequence has been activated. Repeat, the self-destruct sequence has been activated. This sequence may not be aborted. All employees proceed to the emergency car at the bottom platform.
Another pipe. Get down. Alright. Settle in for the final cutscene.
I've been waiting for you, Leon.
What are you doing?
You know what this is about.
Oh,
So just
excuse me, I'm
hand
sorry.
over the G virus.
I don't believe this. Annette was right.
All I've been playing for the
About
past
everything.
month is Animal
That's why I
Crossing,
told you
so
to leave without
I
me,
had
but
to
you
remember that I
wouldn't
had to
listen.
play this game because
Now
I was
hand
doing it
it
in a
over.
marathon.
Don't make me shoot you.
Animal
But
Crossing
it's
has
a
destroyed
video
my
game.
life.
It's a good video game, so it's okay. Sometimes it's hard to go back for me to go back and
Oh,
rewatch some of these cutscenes because the mouths don't move. Like I'd rather watch this than something like Parasite Eve that has no voice acting at all. But it can be kind of tough.
Leon.
Maybe the fact they don't move is better because that way you don't have to worry about things like facial expressions.
Get ready for the Bible
Okay.
bumps and F's in chat, guys.
Oh yeah,
Hate Leon.
get them out.
I know it.
We'll be having Paul Haddad's greatest contribution to video games, the one that everybody remembers over everything.
I really wanted to escape with you, Leon. Escape from everything. Goodbye.
I just love listening to this.
Ada!
Ada.
So, this is what everyone.
Alright, guys. Let's see if we can finish.
Oh, I'm sure we can. I have the faith.
Oh, that's not the door. You take
There's a
everything
door?
with you. He didn't say wait, Leon. Ada, wait! I'm going for that dodge. Please don't get grabbed. Okay. Sorry guys, they are naked. I do apologize.
Suddenly X-rated stream. Guess we gotta pull the plug.
5 minutes until detonation.
I know this is an RE game. There's always a countdown, so
Oh yeah, you gotta have a timer. You can't have this game without a timer.
alright.
Does not work.
Less RNGs, please.
Get them in there.
I got him.
Very nice.
I don't got him. I don't got him. Oh no, this is bad. Oh, sugar. I'm gonna have to knife him.
Oh boy, this is gonna be interesting.
Alright, chat, so just FYI, I missed my stance where I should have been, and I'm gonna have to knife him, and this is gonna end badly, so this run will not end, but it's been fun doing it. I'm on 10 health.
Wow.
Well, it wouldn't be a marathon without one game death, would it, right at the end, so
Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch.
that's absolutely fine. Yeah, so there's RE2. Oh,
Boy. Oh goodness, goodness, goodness. Yeah.
it happens.
Don't have a save state you can load, I guess. Just that off in 9 minutes. Still gonna be underestimate.
Okay, that's cool.
It would have to be like, do you have one like right in the hallway, like in the lab before fighting the final G? It's just a bad ending.
This is just a demo.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Alright, there we go. We're going. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Apparently this one says final Birkin, so I assume that this one's okay to use.
We don't have the... I'm guessing it's not going to have the Ada net cutscene.
No, that's
It's going to
right.
have their...
Yeah.
It should be prone. Yeah, they're done. We're at a cutscene point. That's good.
So we're literally back at the fight. I'm gonna use my flashy thing from the Men in Black, just so you guys can see the fall. Let's try it again, shall we? That was just a demo.
The story, and we're sticking to it. You really cleaned up this save. You killed the zombies in the hallway too.
Oh no, that wasn't me.
She's here. Wait, what?
No. So.
Oh, that's a preloaded save. Okay, I get it. Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, it should be just easy breeze. So yeah, it's generally better to be able to go into that fight with one healing item. Sometimes things go wrong, but you know what it is. This game can be really cruel at times. The final boss is, for my money, the hardest thing in this run for sure. Like even with optimized execution and best weapons, things can really go awry. And yeah, the misspelling of elevators.
This is how the fight should have gone. When you run this category, expect just to die anywhere in the game. So this is how it should have gone, and yeah, and then we escape.
It's a GG nonetheless.
Thank you.
Down, boy.
Thank you guys for having me again, and thank you for all the GGs. First try, you know, this is me.
Yeah, absolute first try. Easy first try.
So yeah, Yelin, just to explain, the foot in where I was the first time, I was a bit too close, so the bullets were missing him. When the camera changes, when he jumps onto the top, you have to take one step in, but because I messed up my foot in on the first bit, it messed me up for the rest of the fight. But thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed RE2. If you guys have any questions or want to run it, please do. And I'm sorry I was so tired, but thanks again for the staff to you know, rearranging my run. And I believe next we have Siphon Filter, so stick around for that. Alrock, thank you so much for
Also a great game. Thank you for having me. It was a blast. Plus we got people to try to rhyme with the word wait, so that was fun.
Yeah, that's gonna be a thing now. Thanks so much, guys. and catch you around.
Thanks, Bixie.